أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والنازئات غرقا والناشطات نشطا والسابحات سبحا فالسابقات سبقا فالمدبرات أمرا يوم ترجف الراجفة تتبعها الرادفة قلوب يومئذ واجفة أبصارها خاشعة يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة أئذا كنا عظاما نخرة قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم بالساهرة هل أتاك حديث موسى إذ ناداه ربه بالواد المقدس طوى اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى ثم أدبر يسعى فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها رفع سمكها فسواها وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها والجبال أرساها متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها صدق الله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته همالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم الذي إذا دعيت به على مغالق أبواب السماء للفتح بالرحمة فتحت، وإذا دعيت به على مضائق أبواب الأرض للفرج انفرجت، وإذا دعيت به على العسر لليسر تيسرت، وإذا دعيت به على الأموات للنشور انتشرت، وإذا دعيت به على كشف البأساء والضراء انكشفت، وبجلال وجهك الكريم أكرم الوجوه وأعز الوجوه الذي عنت له الوجوه وخضعت له الرقاب وخشعت له الأصوات ووجلت له القلوب من مخافتك، وبقوتك التي بها تمسك السماء أن تقع على الأرض إلا بإذنك، وتمسك السماوات والأرض أن تزولا وبمشيتك التي دان لها العالمون، وبكلمتك التي خلقت بها السماوات والأرض، وبحكمتك التي صنعت بها العجائب وخلقت بها الظلمة وجعلتها ليلا، وجعلت الليل سكنا وخلقت بها النور وجعلته نهارا، وجعلت النهار نشورا مبصرا، وخلقت بها الشمس وجعلت الشمس ضياء، وخلقت بها القمر وجعلت القمر نورا، وخلقت بها الكواكب وجعلتها نجوما وبروجا ومصابيح وزينة ورجوما، وجعلت لها مشارق ومغارب، وجعلت لها مطالع ومجاري، وجعلت لها فلكا ومصابيح، وقدرتها في السماء منازلا فأحسنت تقديرها، وصورتها فأحسنت تصويرها، وأحصيتها بأسمائك إحصاء، ودبرتها بحكمتك تدبيرا فأحسنت تدبيرها، وسخرتها بسلطان الليل وسلطان النهار والساعات وعدد السنين والحساب، وجعلت رؤيتها لجميع الناس مرءا واحدا. وأسألك اللهم بمجدك الذي كلمت به عبدك ورسولك موسى بن عمران عليه السلام في المقدسين، فوق إحساس الكروبين، فوق غمائم النور، فوق تابوت الشهادة، في عمود النار، وفي طور سيناء، وفي جبل حوريث، في الوادي المقدس، في البقعة المباركة من جانب الطور الأيمن من الشجرة، وفي أرض مصر ب9 آيات بينات ويوم فرقت لبني إسرائيل البحر وفي المنبجسات التي صنعت بها العجائب وفي بحر سوف وقدت ماء البحر في قلب الغمر كالحجارة وجاوزت ببني إسرائيل البحر وتمت كلمتك الحسنى عليهم بما صبروا وأورثتهم مشارق الأرض ومغاربها التي باركت فيها للعالمين وأخرقت فرعون وجنوده ومراكبه في اليم وباسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم وبمجدك الذي تجليت به لموسى كليمك عليه السلام في طور سيناء ولإبراهيم عليه السلام خليلك من قبل في مسجد الخيف ولإسحاق سفيك عليه السلام في بئر شيء وليعقوب نبيك عليه السلام في بيت إيل وأوفيت لإبراهيم عليه السلام بميثاقك ولإسحاق بحلفك وليعقوب بشهادتك وللمؤمنين بوعدك وللداعين بأسمائك فأجبت وبمجدك الذي ظهر لموسى بن عمران عليه السلام على قبة الرمان وبآياتك التي وقعت على أرض مصر وبمجد العزة والغلبة بآيات عزيزة وبسلطان القوة وبعزة القدرة وبالشأن الكلمة التامة وبكلماتك التي تفضلت بها على أهل السماوات والأرض وأهل الدنيا وأهل الآخرة وبرحمتك التي مننت بها على جميع خلقك وباستطاعتك التي أقمت بها على العالمين وبنورك الذي قد خر من فزعه طور سيناء وبعلمك وجلالك وكبريائك وعزتك وجبروتك التي لم تستقل لها الأرض وانخفضت لها السماوات وانزجر لها العمق الأكبر وركدت لها البحار والأنهار وخضعت لها الجبال وسكنت لها الأرض بمناكبها واستسلمت لها الخلائق كلها وخفقت لها الرياح في جريانها وخمدت لها النيران في أوطانها وبسلطانك الذي عرفت لك به غلبت دهر الدهور وحمدت به في السماوات والأرضون وبكلمتك كلمة الصدق التي سبقت لأبينا آدم عليه السلام وذريته بالرحمة وأسألك بكلمتك التي غلبت كل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي تجليت به للجبل فجعلته دكا وخر موسى صائقا وبمجدك الذي ظهر على طور سيناء فكلمت به عبدك ورسولك موسى بن عمران وبتلعتك في ساعير وظهورك في جبل فاران بربوات المقدسين وجنود الملائكة الصافين وخشوع الملائكة المسبحين وببركاتك التي باركت فيها على إبراهيم خليلك عليه السلام في أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وباركت لإسحاق سفيك في أمة عيسى عليهما السلام وباركت ليعقوب إسرائيلك في أمة موسى عليهما السلام وباركت لحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وآله في عترته وذريته وأمته اللهم وكما غبنا عن ذلك ولم نشهد وآمنا به ولم نره صدقا وعدلا أن تصلي على محمد وآل محمد وأن تبارك على محمد وآل محمد وترحم على محمد وآل محمد كأفضل ما صليت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد فعال لما تريد وأنت على كل شيء قدير. حاجات. اللهم بحق هذا الدعاء وبحق هذه الأسماء التي لا يعلم تفسيرها ولا يعلم باطنها غيرك أن تصلي على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بي ما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بي ما أنا أهله وانتقم لي من أعداء آل محمد واغفر لي من ذنوب ما تقدم منها وما تأخر ولوالدي ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات ووسع علي من حلال رزقك واكفني مؤونة إنسان سوء وجار سوء وقرين سوء وسلطان سوء ويوم سوء وساعة سوء وانتقم لي ممن يكيدني وممن يبغي علي ويريد بي وأهلي وأولادي وإخواني وجيراني وقراباتي من المؤمنين والمؤمنات ظلما إنك على ما تشاء قدير وبكل شيء عليم. آمين رب العالمين. اللهم بحق هذا الدعاء تفضل على فقراء المؤمنين والمؤمنات بالغنى والثروة وعلى مرضى المؤمنين والمؤمنات بالشفاء والصحة وعلى أحياء المؤمنين والمؤمنات باللطف والكرامة وعلى أموات المؤمنين والمؤمنات بالمغفرة والرحمة وعلى مسافر المؤمنين والمؤمنات بالرد إلى أوطانهم سالمين غانمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وعترته الطاهرين وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا علي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور وهو شهر الذي فرضت صيامه علي وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من 1000 شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليه من علي بفكاك رقبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وأدخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترضت على عبادك فيه الصيام صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في عامي هذا وفي كل عام. واغفر لي تلك الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا ألام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم اشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدهتي واجب يا رحيم دعوتي وأقل يا غفور أثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وهموم قد كشفتها وأثرة قد أقلتها ورحمة قد نشرتها وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله فاشف الخلق أمره وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده الباسط بالجود يدا الذي لا تنخس خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة إليه عظيما وغنى عنه قديم وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إنا عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وأمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من عجابتك فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مضلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني أتبت بجهلي عليك ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أسمر على عبد اللئيم منك عليه. يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك. كأن لي التطول عليك فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إليه والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول عناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعازده، قهر بعزته الأعزة، وتواضع لعظمته العظمى، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر علي كل أورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنية قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يحتك حجابه، ولا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائله، ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين، وينجي الصالحين، ويرفع المستضعفين، ويضع المستكبرين، ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الحاربين، نكال الظالمين، صريخ المستصرخين، موذي حاجات الطالمين، معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي خشيتي ترعد السماء وسكانها، وترجف الأرض وعمارها، وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا، وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق، ويرزق ولا يرزق، ويطعم ولا يطعم، ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى، وهو حي لا يموت، بيده الخير، وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحجتك من خيرتك من خلقه، وحافظ سره ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتهننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأحلى الكرامة عليه من خلقه. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين، عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك وعلى خلقه، وآيتك الكبرى والنبع العظيم. وصل على صديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. وصل على سبط الرحمة وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الحادي المهدي. حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر، وحفه بملائكتك المقربين، وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك. استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتزيته له. أبدله من بعده خوفه أمنا، يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نسيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فهملنا، وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وأعزز به ذلتنا، وأغني به آئلنا، واقضي به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به أسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعتنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا، يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المؤتين. اشف به صدورنا، وأذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق، آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبيك صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله، وأئنا على ذلك بفتح منك تؤجله، وبضر تكشفه، ونصر تؤزه، وسلطان حق تظهره، ورحمة منك تجللناها، وعافية منك تلبسناها، برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فأدخلنا، وفي عليين فارفعنا، وبكأس من معين من عين وسلسبيل فاسقنا، ومن الهور العين برحمتك فزوجنا، ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فأخدمنا، ومن ثمار الجنة ولهوم الطير فأطعمنا، ومن ثياب سندس والحرير والاستبرق فألبسنا، وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا، وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فأستجب لنا، وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا، وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا، وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا، وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبطلنا، ومن الزكوم والضريع فلا تطعمنا، ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا، وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا، ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل قطران فلا تلبسنا ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبني من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عن سيئاتهم وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل أمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيري. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلة هذه ولك قبل تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Respected scholar, my elders, brothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Surah Fatiha is requested for all the names listed on the screen and Kul Marhamin Al-Fatiha. Ayat Mayyujibun is requested for all the names listed on the screen and whoever is in need of it here and elsewhere. We will recite this together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amman yujibul mustarra idha da'a wa yakshifu su. Amman yujibul mustarra idha da'a wa yakshifu su. Amman yujibul مضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My respected elders and brothers and sisters in Islam and Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, it's a pleasure to be with you in this evening in the blessed month of Ramadan. May Allah Ta'ala accept all your a'mal and shower upon all of us His barakat. May Allah forgive us for our sins. May He accept our fasting. And may He allow us to attain the true blessings of the month of Ramadan. That our fasts have meaning for us. And may our struggles and the balas that we're facing, may they be means of purifying our faith and getting closer to Him. So once again, what I'd like to do this evening is to begin with a presentation portion, which is going to be kind of interactive in the sense that after the presentation, there's going to be a quiz. Inshallah, all of you guys can participate. So make sure that you log into Slido and get ready for that. But the presentation, as I mentioned yesterday, is meant for for us to, inshallah, further our understanding of the month of Ramadan and also the Quran. And it's something which, inshallah, will be fun for the whole family, including the kids and the youth, to participate in. So if I can ask the media team to show the presentation. Thank you so much. So for today, we're going to be introducing the topic of the amthal of the Quran, the parables of the Quran. It's a super interesting topic, and the ayat, the verses in which Allah mentions His parables, where He strikes an example with something, they're some of the most profound and beautiful verses of the Quran. If I can get the next point, please. So the word that's used in Arabic and the Quran for a parable is mathal or amthal, and actually it's a tool that was used in the previous books as well. If you go and study the Bible also has parables. It's one of the ways of communicating ideas. Next point, please. We see in the Quran, in 2 ayat of the Quran, Allah says the reason for why He uses parables in the Quran. He says that Allah draws these parables for mankind so that they can get reminded, so that they can think. Now, here's something for you to think about. Why is it that Allah would use a parable? Why would He take an example of something? For example, He takes the example of a mirage, or of water passing through a stone, or He takes an example of the mosquito. Why is it that He takes these examples? Well, one of the reasons is because there's a difficult concept or a profound concept. There's something which we want to understand, and Allah wants to express that in the form of something that we can easily understand. It's like we as human beings are used to seeing things. We're used to like touching things with our hands. We're used to being able to like look at it from this way and this way. But there's some things that Allah wants us to understand that go beyond what we can touch and feel, and that we can create with Legos or something like that. So what does He do for us? In His mercy, He makes it easier for us. He strikes an example, and He wants us to ponder upon that, to think about it, so that we can get this concept. Next point, please. And in the Quran, there's over 50 parables that explain concepts in a way that help us understand. Inshallah, throughout some of the evenings that I'll be with you, I will be covering a few of these parables that Allah strikes for us in the Quran. And I'm going to be drawing primarily on the works of 2 great scholars who have written about these parables and given examples and given us a way of understanding them. One of them is Ayatollah Ja'far Subhani, who's written a book in Arabic about Al-Amthal fil Quran, and then a book by Atul Makarim Shirazi, which was compiled from a series of lectures that he gave in the month of Ramadan many years ago, which I had the blessing to be able to attend some of those lectures when I was in Qom. That has been compiled in a book, and I'll be relying on that one as well. Next slide, please. So the first example we're going to actually take is the parable of a mosquito. Next point, please. And so in this parable, Allah Ta'ala says, I'm going to just read the translation. Inshallah, later on, if you get a chance, you can go through the Arabic. Indeed, Allah is not ashamed to draw a parable, whether it is that of a mosquito or something above it. As for those who have faith, they know it is the truth from their Lord. And as for the faithless, they say, what did Allah mean by this parable? Thereby He leads many astray, and thereby He guides many, and He leads no one astray thereby except the transgressors. So that's the verse. Now let's try to understand a little bit more about this parable of the mosquito. Next slide, please. Okay, next point. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the comparison of an elephant versus a mosquito. Now, why elephant? What does the verse have to do with the elephant? Well, the elephant actually comes to us from the words of Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam. There's a hadith in which he takes this concept of the mosquito and he is going to help us to understand that by comparing it to an elephant. He says Allah strikes the example of a mosquito despite its stature, because Allah has created it in it whatever He has created in an elephant. Now everyone knows that an elephant is a magnificent creature. It's something which is intelligent, it's something which is strong, right? Powerful, fierce. You don't want to mess with an elephant. Don't try it. Okay, take my word for it. Okay, but what about the mosquito? Allah says that whatever you can find in an elephant, it's there in the mosquito as well, with all of its size. But He has added to it 2 extra limbs, meaning the mosquito has something even beyond what the elephant has. In this way, Allah wants to make the believers aware of how He creates so delicately and wondrously. So this is one of the reasons why Allah strikes the example of a mosquito. It's in order for us to realize that within this thing that we just sometimes think of as just a pesty pest, just annoying, like just want to kill it. Wait a minute, okay, kill it, go ahead if you need to kill it, but think about it. What is in it? What kind of lesson is that for me? What does it teach me about Allah's creation? You can see on the slide there's this one artist who actually wanted to put this into a picture. He took the elephant and he put it into the body of a mosquito, and you can see, look, it's like, actually, it kind of fits the mold, right? And this is something that Imam Sadiq ﷺ had referred to. It has the stinger, here it has like the big trunk, and then the legs, and then there's the wings in addition. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next point. So the summary of the verse is this: Allah is not ashamed of using the example of what people think is the weakest and most annoying of His creatures, or even more weaker or more annoying than that. Allah can do that as well. Those who have faith know what He says is the truth, but the faithless question and mock. That's a summary of the verse. Next point, please. So just to help us understand, when Allah uses the word iman, normally we translate it as faith, but we're trying to further our understanding of the Quran. So we should realize that what iman means is not just having this type of, I'm a believer, but it means like belief that settles in the heart due to acting on what we know. When we believe something and then we act upon it, then Allah gifts us with something called iman, and it's found within the heart. It's a sweetness in the heart. Somebody who doesn't have iman, somebody who doesn't act, they won't know what iman is all about. Next slide, please. Now, what are some questions that come up when we look at this verse? One of them is this: that why might someone be ashamed of using a mosquito as an example? Because Allah says He's not ashamed of it. So think about that. Why would somebody potentially be ashamed of it? Okay, next point, please. Well, the answer is that if we look at the history of the occasion of the revelation, some of the mushrikeen, the idol worshippers at the time, they weren't so happy with the Quran using the example of a mosquito. They said that, oh, come on, if you want to strike an example of something, then let it be something which is magnificent, like an elephant. Why would you want to use an example of a mosquito? Or whatever other examples that Allah would, and whatever other parables Allah would use. For example, He talks about the parable of a munafiq and what happens to a munafiq, and how a munafiq doesn't have his own light to guide him. Then they would kind of scoff at that and say, come on, give us something which is a better example. Use another parable, something else that we think of as great. Now, Allah isn't going to just listen to them. Next point, please. Why does Allah want to use an example? Because a mosquito, number one, mosquito is a fantastic creature that no human being can create. If you think about it, it might be small, it might be a pest, but can you or anyone else go and create that on their own? No. It's something which is unreproducible. Nobody can match that. Next point. What makes something an amazing sign of Allah doesn't depend on whether human beings like it or not. Right? Nobody likes to be invaded by mosquitoes, but that doesn't mean that it's not an amazing sign of Allah. No. Whatever Allah creates is amazing. Next slide. Next point. And what's important is not whether something is big or small, but rather that it's from Allah. Okay, that's one very important reason why Allah gives the example of a mosquito. Next point. Now, how can that be something that's a guidance for some but not others? Because Allah says that when He gives these examples, the people of faith, people of iman, they benefit from them. But the people who are misguided, they only get further misguided. Okay, next point. Well, I'm going to give you an example. When somebody is physically sick and you place a bowl of tasty, I don't know, what should I say here? Barazi, Mahamri, nihari. Okay, whatever. I won't tempt you too much. Okay, put a bowl of tasty, whatever, soup okay, boring soup in front of them. All right, now, no, tasty soup. Now, the person who's healthy, they might be like, oh, this is amazing. And then they drink it. They're like, okay, this is awesome. Thank you, mom. Thank you, grandma. I love you. But somebody who's sick, that might be the most, horrific thing to them. They're like, oh, parazi now, oh my God. Like, and then if they eat it, they might actually like upchuck or something, right? So you see here on a physical level, something can be good for somebody and can be terrible for somebody else. Now, same thing when somebody is spiritually sick, and this is important, brothers and sisters, when somebody's spiritually sick, then it can be the case that the words of Allah don't have that healing effect on them. The Quran is supposed to be a shifa, it's supposed to be a spiritual healing for them. But because of their own internal sickness, they actually get turned away from the message of Allah. Okay, next slide, please. So the last slide I have about this is some reflection. Because when we read the verses of Quran, we don't want to just, we like to benefit, we like to do some tadabbur and pondering upon them. Do I give all parts of Islam the same value because they come from Allah? Sometimes people say, let me focus on the big picture. I won't worry about the small details. Okay, like don't talk to me about the ahkam of how I'm supposed to place my hands in sujood, or how I'm supposed to make sure I move in my salah, or whether I'm supposed to chew food or not. I'll just figure it out kind of, I'll get the bigger picture. I'll focus on the akhlaq. Okay, no, everything is sacred if it's from Allah Ta'ala. Second question, can I see wonder in the things that are harmful to me as well? Mosquito is harmful for us. I'll give you another example. Its name is COVID. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Okay, the coronavirus is something which is even smaller than a mosquito. I was looking at what one scientist said. I don't know if it's true or not, but he estimated that the weight of a single coronavirus particle is, or molecule, or whatever you want to call it, it's 0.7 attograms. Now, if you want to know what an attogram is 1 times 10 to the power of minus 18 of a regular gram. And then he went on to further estimate, said that, okay, if we have 3 million people who are affected by the virus, and we have, you need like 700, I think he said, billion, molecules of this coronavirus in order to actually get somebody sick, then he estimated that the total weight of all the coronavirus viri, okay, in the entire world right now is the weight of 1 gram. We can just think about that 1 gram has caused so much disruption and so much sickness and so much, it's become, the talk of the century, the event of the century, right? So now we look at that and we're like, man, this is so annoying. But wait a minute, just think about that there's something quite powerful there, and something that breaks our arrogance and brings us back to our roots, that, oh Allah, you are the Malikul Mulk. You're the one who can create something that can, bring us to our knees, that's so small that we can barely even talk about it. Okay, next point. And do I approach the Quran knowing that it's the truth? Sometimes, we have this attitude of like, well, I'll read of it and then I'll think about it on my own and I'll kind of decide whether I'm going to accept it or not. But this is not the approach that the Quran, once we're supposed to be past that point, that's something that we prove when we're studying Aqaid. But now that we're coming to the Quran, we're approaching it as, this is my channel of guidance. I'm going to accept everything in it. I'm going to let it have its effect on me. I'm going to let it heal me. I'm going to let it either, as Imam Ali Islam says in that hadith, Najm al-Balagha, either increase my guidance or at the very least remove my spiritual blindness. Okay, so with that, if I can ask for the slideshow to be closed, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the interactive portion. The interactive portion, by the way, is, so you guys can get ready to log into them. You just started. All right. I just wanted to say that I've started it. The interactive portion is cumulative, meaning that it's going to include a question or two, even based on what we talked about like the previous days. At least that's the hope. So inshallah, let's see if we can all remember. Okay, and that's incentive for you to all participate and keep in mind what happened the previous days as well too. Inshallah, it would be good for all of us to do that. Otherwise, it can kind of come in and come out. Okay, so I'm waiting for all you guys to join in, inshallah. Okay, great. So we are going to be starting soon. Okay, and so while you're logging in, now the first question is going to be based on one of the ayat of the Quran. Just like yesterday, you're going to have to listen to it carefully, and then we're going to launch the quiz. But this time, instead of hearing it from me, I'm going to try to play a recording of it. So see, inshallah, if you can hear this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما.
We're going to do that one more time just in case.
والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما.
Okay, now inshallah we're ready to go. We are going to launch our quiz. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, 16 of you answered it, and let's see. So most of you said it belongs to Al-Mukhbitin. I'm sorry if I pressed that a little bit too fast. Inshallah, next time I'll try to give you a little bit more time. So the correct answer is Ibad al-Rahman. This ayah is from Surah Al-Furqan, where Allah describes the qualities of Ibad al-Rahman. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Okay, so we have 69% of people selecting the first one. How a mosquito has something that even an elephant doesn't. And the correct answer is exactly that. Good job, guys. MashaAllah. Okay, next question. According to the hadith from yesterday, the lady Maryam wanted to return to this world in order to what? Okay, so 77% of you said fast in the hot days and offer night prayer in the cold nights. And the answer is exactly that. So let's look and see. Let's look at our leaderboard for today. Okay, so we have, okay, good job, Khakuz, and Mujtaba, and Anonymous, and ESS, and SA, mashallah. Okay, excellent. And there was other people who also got 2 points as well, but they're not showing up on the leaderboard there. But anyways, you guys know who you are. Great job, excellent, everyone, mashallah. Okay, so we're gonna close that up here, finish the quiz, and I wanted to say that inshallah, time permitting, at the end, if there's any questions, you guys can submit it through Slido there. But please do try to make the questions related to the discussion that we're having, or maybe kind of on a related tangent, but not just something completely out of the blue. Although if you want to ask that, if something like a burning question that you have, then maybe we can also try to address that as well. And also, if we're not able to answer the questions, I just want to apologize from beforehand, because there's limited time and there is some material that I do want to cover. Okay. Alhamdulillah, if we can have a salawat please played, and then we'll move on. That was a nice salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Okay. All right, so the topic that we are discussing now is the topic of the story of Nabi Musa alayhi salam. What we talked about yesterday is that the Quran has application at every time. And just like the Quran had, just like at the time of Nabi Musa alayhi salam, there were certain figures, there were certain movements, there were certain structures to the society. There was causes and there was effects. There were struggles and there was victories. We can find all of those at every time, including our time. The story of Nabi Musa alayhi salam has a lot to offer us at our time. And today, inshallah, we're going to begin looking at that. The verse that I want to, inshallah, cover with you today is from Surah Al-Qasas, which is one of the surahs in which the story of Nabi Musa alayhi salam is covered in quite some detail. And I'm going to go ahead and play the ayah, and then we're going to, inshallah, talk about it. So this is from Surah Al-Qasas, verse number 4.
إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين.
Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim. In this verse, Allah describes some of the tools of oppression that the Pharaoh used at the time of Nabi Musa alayhi salam. Number one, he says that he made its people into parties, weakening one party among them. He used the technique of dividing and conquering. We see an example of this in the history of what happened to Bani Israel. When later on in the story, after when they are about to finally be rescued from the Pharaoh and his people, Nabi Musa alayhi salam has done this incredible miracle. He's parted the sea for them. And he's telling them and he's urging them, okay, go ahead and cross. Even at that point, they have some demands for him. And one of their demands is they say that, look, we come from 12 different tribes. There was 12 different tribes that had descended from the 12 sons of Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam. We come from 12 different tribes. If we all go through one passageway, then we'll be worried about our own tribesmen. We'll be looking around and we'll see people from the other tribes, right? So, if you don't mind, just if you can make different passageways for us. And we want to have 12 different ones. So Nabi Musa alayhi salam asked Allah Ta'ala. Allah said that, okay, go ahead, strike again. And Allah struck again, and there's 12 different passages open up. So this division that was there, the Pharaoh and his people, they knew about it. It was something that was age old, and they used it and they exacerbated it. They made it be something which was a tool of oppression, causing division. Later on in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala says that when Nabi Musa, they needed water, Nabi Musa strikes a stone and from it comes 12 different streams of water. It's almost as if Allah Ta'ala knows these people. He knows that if there's just one, it's not going to be enough for them. But eventually that infighting and that separation leads to the downfall of something that could have been a great civilization. So that's number one, tool of oppression. Number two is that he says that يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ, that Pharaoh would slaughter the newborn, the sons, Pharaoh would slaughter the sons of the Bani Israel. Now, and the other people that he oppressed in his land. Amongst them, of course, are Bani Israel. Now, why was he doing this? This is important for us because when we're going to be talking about some of the practical lessons we want to derive from this is important to understand. One of the reasons was that Pharaoh was aware of the savior of Bani Israel, the figure who was going to save them, coming from amongst the sons. So he wanted to kill them. But one of the other reasons was that Pharaoh and his people, they looked at Bani Israel and they were their slaves. They were the ones who were in the upper class and they were benefiting from the hard work of the Bani Israel. They would use them to clean, they would use them to construct, they would use them as servants. So on one hand, they made use of them as a labor force. They were the backs upon which they stood, and they enjoyed life because of these people. But on the other hand, they were scared of them. Why? Because they knew that these people had a conscience. They came from an age-old tradition. They descended from, from their forefathers, from Nabi Yaqub. Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam had established a government which was based on the rule of Allah Ta'ala. And the government of Allah is one in which there is no favoritism of one race over another race. It's a government of justice. So this was in their blood. Even though 4 centuries had passed, they were aware of a time where it wasn't the case that there was this division and this caste system. So he was scared of them. Now, what way could he control them? It was through controlling their population. If they were to spread, especially if their youth population were to grow, then they could easily, realize that their strength in numbers, and then they could overthrow him. Now, one of the other things that they were aware of was the teachings of their prophets. Every prophet, every prophet speaks to human beings' fitra, what they're naturally oriented towards. And one of the messages that we have from the prophets to the people is, you should get married, you should establish families, and you should have children, and you should make this earth be filled with believers. Now, this was something that Fir'aun knew that this was part of their culture, so he wanted to prevent this from happening. And the way he would do this is that he would sometimes have the newborns be slaughtered. Sometimes he would have the children. Sometimes he would have the men be slaughtered. Sometimes the people would complain. We have this in Hadith. They would say that Fir'aun you're killing too many of the menfolk. We don't have enough laborers. So then what they would do is they would ease off. For example, they would ease off for a year. They would let the children be born, but then the next year they would go and they would clamp down again. So this was a delicate balancing act where they needed them, but they wanted to get rid of them. The other thing they would do is yastahyi nisa'ahum. What does yastahyi nisa'ahum mean? One of the meanings is when the word yastahyi is taken from haya. Haya means life. So according to that meaning, which many of the commentators accept, it means that Fir'aun would spare the lives of the females. Why would he do that? Because, well, they would be good for labor. They would be good for, let's say, maidservants. But another potential meaning of yastahyi nisa'ahum is when yastahyi is taken from the word haya'a. Haya'a is a beautiful, powerful Islamic concept. It means decency, the virtue of decency, and it's related to chastity, iffah. The idea that somebody holds themselves as being accountable to Allah, and they have that type of decency and appropriateness and shame when dealing with others. Now, according to that meaning, Fir'aun and his people, what their culture was one where they would try to rob the women of their haya. Why would they do that? Because it's accomplishing their goal. It's a tool of oppression. When the women would lose their haya, then this would lead to the breakdown of the family, and it would lead to the breakdown of that potential revolution among the youth who would be in tune with justice, and they would want justice to be restored. So this is a potential meaning of yastahyi nisa'ahum. Innahu kana min al-mufsidin. Fir'aun was somebody who was a mischief maker. He wanted to cause corruption in the earth. So these are 4 tools. Now, what I'd like us to do is to think about our times right now and to see how can we apply this to ourselves. And thereby we can try to understand, where is the Fir'aun of today? Is there a Fir'aun of today? Or are there pharaonic type of activities that are taking place in order to, and are there tools of oppression which are taking place, which are being used to oppress people, including us, including let's say the weak among our society? So first thing I want to look at is the concept of individualism. One of the things that is promoted these days as part of the culture is that, I want to be my own person. I want to be quote unquote free. I don't want to tie myself down with commitments to any particular person. I just want to be free. I want to do my own thing. I'll have fun. I want to have relationships. I want to break relationships. I can wear a ring. I can throw it off. That sort of thing. Remember that sometimes the ideas that are planted in our mind aren't actually part of our nature. There's something which we've taken from the society around us. But when we read the Quran, it gives us an opportunity to look at these ideas and ask, look, is this something that's really true to my nature? Or is it something that I've been kind of been brainwashed or been pushed to accept, but it's not really part of what I believe in? Islam teaches us a concept of responsibility. The idea that you're not supposed to be a selfish person. You're supposed to think beyond yourself. You have a role to play in so many different ways. One of the ways that you can play a role, one of the ways that you're important, is that you are somebody who has the potential to be part of a believing family, of creating a believing family. And from you, there might be an entire ummah that is raised, that is going to be believers, that are going to spread the light of Allah throughout the earth. In traditions, we have a beautiful tradition from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he is reported to have said that, what is it that prevents a believer from getting married? Okay, what is the reason for that? Perhaps Allah will then grant him a generation tuthqirul ard bila ilaha illallah, that by means of that generation he will make the earth heavy with the proclamation and declaration of la ilaha illallah, of tawheed. So that's one of the benefits that's mentioned. Now, in addition, sometimes we think, and we're like very limited in our scope. We're like, okay, well, if I get married, then there's all these commitments I have to make, and I have to reduce all these things. I'll have to serve my spouse. I'll have to take care of them. I'll have to earn money for them, whatever the different responsibilities are. And then children, oh my God, there's so much work involved. Yeah, there's tons of work involved. It's very hard, okay? But sometimes that work is something which we think that we're giving, but actually we're getting from it. There's a beautiful hadith that we have. Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam reports this. He says that there was one of the men who wasn't, one of the guys, he didn't used to want to get married. He didn't used to want to have, be granted children from Allah Ta'ala. It's like, I don't want that. That's not for me. And then he says, Imam Sadiq reports this, he says that this man went for Hajj. And in Hajj, on the day of Arafah, he was in the plain of Arafat, and he saw that there was a young person there who was making dua. It's the day of dua, day of Arafat, it's the day of making dua. And he sees that young person is crying, sincerely, earnestly making dua. What is he saying? He's saying, Ya Rabbi walidayya walidayya. Oh my Lord, take care of my parents. Take care of my parents. And when he saw that, something clicked for him. He said, I was so moved by that scene that after that, I wanted to also have a family as well too. Yeah, I want to have a child who prays for me as well too, because that thing is something that I'm going to benefit from. Right? So this is something that we have to remember, that sometimes it's one of the tools of oppression to prevent people from wanting to get married, prevent people from wanting to establish these strong, firm households. That's number one. Number two is that Fir'aun was trying to outright kill, the sons of Bani Israel, because that was something that fit his agenda. But we have to remember that there are different ways of killing people and different ways of giving life to people. And when we're trying to understand whether this is a tool of oppression in our society, it's something that we need to think about in a deeper way. Again, I want to take you to the tradition of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. We have a verse in the Quran where Allah says, وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. Whoever gives life to somebody, it's as if he's given life to all of humanity. In the words of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they say that a low-level interpretation of that is when you save somebody's life, on a physical level. They're drowning, you throw them a lifesaver. They are about to be burnt down, you go in and rescue them. But there is a higher interpretation of that verse. To give life to someone, they say, is when you take somebody who is misguided and you guide them to the true path. You bring them to the path of Iman. So when it comes to the idea of killing somebody, we can take the reverse of that. There's sometimes where you kill somebody physically. There's a time where you prevent them from being guided. You prevent them from receiving the proper teachings which will allow them to grow and flourish. Now, isn't it the case that in our society sometimes we see that happening? We see that there's entire structures which are created which systematically oppress certain segments of the society, which don't allow them to have access to those schools and those facilities which would allow them to grow and flourish. Right? So this is something that is worth thinking about, when we're talking about oppression and the tools of oppression. Now, when we're talking about the stealing away of decency and how that causes a breakdown in society, again, when we look at some of the tools that are out there, social media, some parts of social media, they actually call out for somebody to like throw away the decency that they have, right? There's no privacy anymore, at least by default, unless you go into the settings and check all those other things. There's no privacy anymore. Everything's shared. Boys, girls, doesn't matter anymore. Everyone can see everything. I can talk to somebody, I can be bold, I can do this, I can do that. Okay, I can be my own person, I can be the star of my own show. Well, is this something which is really part of your fitrah? Why is it that we see that so many people, this is statistics, you see that among teenagers, one of the major causes of low self-esteem, and at least one of the growing causes of it, low self-esteem, of depression, of depressive states, is social media. So this is something for us to think about, that this is also a tool of oppression. And then the last thing I'll mention for today's presentation, and inshallah we'll have a few minutes if there's any question and answer, is when it comes to the youth and trying to disperse them and to reduce their power. One example of this, just a simple example, there's many of them. If you look at in the last decade, the growth of e-cigarettes, of vaping, there's been studies that have shown that the major companies actually targeted young people in their advertising. They try to make it seem like something which is really cool for them. They introduced flavors which were appealing to the youth. Only in the last couple of years, when the medical reports started coming out, when people who were very much addicted to them for a long time, now they started to have severe lung problems, that's when they were forced to step down on their marketing. But that was something that they were actually promoting. They were targeting the youth because they saw this as being a lucrative market for them. This is something which you can easily find evidence backing this up. Okay, now whether it be something like that which can take away the health of somebody, or whether it be video games, violent video games, or addictive video games, which are programmed to like take away, basically cause addiction among young people, or whether it be other destructive media. There's one time where you look at it and you say that, oh, this is fun. There's another time where you say that, look, this is something which has been designed to basically take me away from success, to like distract me, and to like make me into a slave for the people who would like to exploit me. Why is it that many of the top Silicon Valley executives who understand technology, they have firm policies around media exposure for their children? Look at the likes of Steve Jobs, what he had with his children, and even the head of some of the most famous companies right now, right? And you see, okay, they understand technology. They don't give their kids a cell phone, for example. What is it that they understand about this? They don't want their kids to be exploited. So these are some of the practical lessons that we wanted to drive for today, that have to do with being aware of the tools of oppression, whether it be trying to prevent people from making strong families, whether it be trying to rob the decency from people, whether it be trying to break up the youth. These are things for us to think about. Now, in response to this, the Bani Israel, how is it that they survived this type of oppression and this type of other tool is disunity? I didn't get a chance to talk about that. What did they do to survive? There was something very powerful that they had access to, which, inshallah, if you stay tuned tomorrow, we're going to cover that. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi. If I can get a salawat, please, and then we'll see if there's any questions in the 4 minutes that remain. Okay, so we're going to look at their questions here. Okay, so thank you. Assalamu alaikum. What recommendations do you have for tafsir of the Quran translated into English? This is an area which, obviously there's a lot of work that needs to be done. What I am aware of is, number one, we have a large number of the volumes of Al-Mizan, which are in the process of being translated or have been translated. You can check out almizan.org. The only thing I would say is that Al-Mizan is a technical text. It's worded for people who are familiar with the Hausawi language, which takes some exposure, some years of study to be able to understand and fully grasp. And so it is a tafsir which is somewhat a bit difficult to understand fully. And so I would just say that sometimes what you read, you have to maybe might not be fully understandable, at least parts of it. Another thing, some of the volumes of Tafsir Namuna have been translated into English. Sheikh Salim Bimji in the Islamic Publishing House in Canada, he's done a great job in many works of translation. One of the beautiful works when it comes to the stories of Quran and the stories of the prophets is the book called The Emissaries, God's Emissaries by Sheikh Rizwan Arastu. I recommend that the high school students and up, everyone should try to read that. It's really well done, and some of what we're talking about here, you can find the story there. It's well translated, it has well referenced as well. And then there's a work called the Study Quran, which was recently put together by a group of scholars. It's done more from a university angle, and there's a lot of mostly based on Sunni tafsir sources, but it's a good thing to just glance at to see what's been mentioned in tafsir, but obviously not a definitive source, and we have to take what we get there with a grain of salt. And then there's a traditional tafsir, the work of Mirza Puya, is something which is very valuable, and that's of course others as well too. And I should mention Sheikh Salim Bimji is also working on an ayah by ayah tafsir, with videos, and I think you can find them on YouTube. How can we reverse the trend in the society of declining haya? What kind of practice can we establish in our families and communities so that the society can begin to move towards greater haya? So one of the things that I'll just mention quickly for today, and then maybe we can take up tomorrow if there's more, if there's something else to add to that, is that we want to try to not just limit haya to dress code, although that's an important part of it, but to all aspects of our interaction with others. And of course, it stems from our haya with Allah. Somebody who has haya of being an abd of Allah, then of course they would have haya when it comes to interacting with others. So where else do we want to do that? For example, when it comes to the way that our eyes interact, Islam has very strong practices and recommendations and requirements for this. The way that we're not supposed to hold our glance with the opposite gender. When it comes to the body language and the communication, the words that we use, even avoiding anything that might turn into something which could lead to haram. When it comes to the type of gatherings that we have, there's so much recommendation about not being alone with a non-mahram. Otherwise, the third party there will be the shaitan. Well, this needs to be applied even to social media and chatting and these type of things. It has to be done with great caution. That's one of the things that comes to mind. Inshallah, if there's something else, then I will mention it tomorrow. Thank you very much for your questions. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi tahirin.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن حسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. السلام عليكم السلام عليك يا إيمانيا وإمام الإنس والجان. الأمان ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين عليا ولي الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين عليا حجة الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. هيا على الصلاة. هيا على الصلاة. الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله